beautiful Colorado, blue sky, tall green ponderosa pine, and even some spruce, big tall ones. So here's project number 9,486,417.8. I'm down a slope. I'm looking up to the north. This I'm calling the south greenhouse. There up there is the green. Shade cloth on the top is the north greenhouse, and just north of that is the north greenhouse terrace, and I have a little shot. I talked about all those. This particular segment is all about the projects that I'm calling there's many of them actually, the south greenhouse terrace. There's actually many terrae all the way down there. Pretty extensive. Because the general thought here is, yeah, I got greenhouses, boom, boom. And way down over here, I actually have garden beds. I'll probably do a little video of that one of these days. That metal structure with the chairs, I'm calling the bridge, because I sit there and survey the ship of state. Anyway, there's the garden beds. There's 3 of them there. Now, the other thing that I'm starting to do is to have gardening be much more geographical. Is that the way to talk about it? In other words, bear with me. I have all these garden paths. This is something that I just finished yesterday. I have all these slopes. So I'm very much getting into terracing. So right here, this slope was just, like any of these slopes here. Just this hillside that's kind of slipped away, had a bunch of grass and stuff in it. So I want to make this productive. So here's some moss rock, formerly part of the house, that found a new purpose, making a wall. Now, part of the issue is there's lots of this really invasive, I call it road grass, that's extremely viable in this terrain. Has rhizomes. The rhizomes intertangle and makes a mat 2 or 3 inches thick. Kills everything. So it was all riddled through here, so I had to dig this entire thing out. I dug up along here, and you can see there's still more. This grass is not that kind of grass, so I think I'll let that go. But I had to dig out as much as I could here, put in the rock wall, and to keep the wall from bulging over time, I dug out 2 feet, at least 2 feet, maybe deeper, and just filled it with this very light mulch. So it's not gonna, it's just pine chips and wood chips and stuff like that. So it's pretty light. Eventually it'll become soil, but it's gonna take a while. So hopefully the weeds won't grow there. Now this is a bed I'm putting in. I dug down and kind of filtered stuff out, filtered out the roots and the wood, the weeds that were there. Eventually I'm going to put another log here, build this up a little bit, top it with maybe 3-4 inches of compost, and that's going to be a garden bed. This, once the wood chips start mulching down a little bit, I might actually pull that out, put a little dirt in there, plant flowers there. This is a pathway, goes down the slope down there to the greenhouse. And same thing here, I'm gonna let that mulch out, maybe put some dirt and plant flowers there. So the idea is path. Anytime I have a path, which will eventually make more soil, more compost, I can put that into the garden bed, plant the, make a garden bed there, keep this hopefully from growing any weeds, and have flowers. So it's kind of a own little self-contained section right there. Now, moving on, this area I'm just gonna try to, anytime I find any kind of interesting plant that's, is this something I dig up from a pathway, I'm just planting it here. So this is just gonna be totally wild, whatever it is. Over time, as I find edible plants and medicinals and whatever, any kind of thing that's different, new, and interesting and flowering, hopefully, I'll just kind of fill that in there. Now, moving on, here's the rest of the whole terrace network here in the south greenhouse terrace. So here again, this is a path. I'm gonna mulch that really good. That over time will make dirt that I can place into this terrace. This one right here, I'm just gonna spend time letting what's here grow, and anytime I have some more soil or compost with extra little stuff, I'm just gonna toss that in here, fill it in, and over time make it so I can grow stuff there. And here again, I'll probably take, not a big terrace like this. This is gonna grow up some, but I'll just, put in a log and plant something uphill from it, mulch it in, see what grows there. Okay. Now, moving on, here's other parts of the terrace. This is a pathway right here. There's going to be a pathway coming from the top part down to this lower area. Let's see if I get my finger right. Okay. So that'll allow passage this way, in this part of the terrace. So here again, these are, I'm thinking about putting fruit trees there. I tried various things last year, but I had them in number 5 pots for too long and they just didn't last. Same thing down here. So I think this slope is going to be more fruit trees, hopefully get them so they're not too tall, because I don't want to obscure the light going into the greenhouse. So now let's go down here. This was a raised bed that I put in for potatoes. Nothing happened. So don't tell anybody. Look at this. What was I thinking? I put it right next to the telephone pole. Okay, it's moving. It's moving. So the path is going to come this way, and so I'll make it out like this and down there. So yeah, it's a lot of work. It's kind of not really smart of me, but I'll probably just move it in line with this wall right here. Okay, so this is another raised bed, but the whole idea here is kind of gardens everywhere, little smaller places that it's not a formal sort of thing. It's just like I'm going to walk by this place every day because I just walk around here. So I just spent little time today because all these Egyptian walking onions kind of migrated all the way through here, so I just moved it that way. So I'm going to build it up with logs, compost, and let that grow. Another lesson learned, I put these pallets in to make this terrace wall, but I only used one T-post. Didn't put one on that end. So okay, so I dig it all out, move it back, tie it around with baling twine, and take it. That's one of the projects today. But down here is another walkway, but I did hoe out and I did put a bunch of compost and filled back over with mulch here because I'm going to plant some climbing things, probably beans or peas or something, I don't know, maybe squash, and see have it grow up and over. So here again, this is a pathway. Now this part here is eventually going to be a garden. As I'm digging up dirt here, and there's more dirt, and as I'm excavating this stuff out here, I'm just tossing it right there. This is a maybe next year possibly. I'm just going to keep putting biomass in here, letting it decompose. This is a terrace wall that I put in last year. So I did build it up, and so there's quite a bit of mulch in there. So over time that'll become soil. Now, along this wall, again, I'm putting in, this is just mountain mahogany, so it's not going to grow very tall. So it's just something to provide little vegetation, birds, animals, insects, flora, fauna, whatever is part of here. So moving on. So this pathway, well, it is kind of a pathway. At least this part here, I guess, could be a garden. But then I think I'll connect this walkway with stairs. And I'll move it down to here. This will be a walkway. But then you see I have more terraces here. This is all erosion stabilization. Also, just like a little sitting area up here. These concrete, this is a 4-inch concrete slab that I had what I called the piper set. I play the Irish Uilleann pipes. Right over here, there was, before the fire, there was a little shed that I was kind of building up. I poured a floor, and I wanted to put solar thermal underneath, so I had to take the floor up. So I had somebody come with a big saw and just, whack it into sections that I can move around. So here they are. I'm going to find something to do with them. One of the things that's starting to come to mind is I'm going to build little tables. So this would be a vertical support. I'm going to have to stabilize on both sides. Have another one over there and place these on top. The trick's going to be, well, they're smooth on one side, but they're all irregular on the other. So I have a choice of, if I put the smooth side down, that'll make it nice and even, and it'll set properly. And then maybe just build this up and, mud it in and put a new top on there. But I digress. Back to, these are just more terraces. These are just more terraces that I made. Right below is the field office. It's my 6x12 utility trailer that has my, where I can do work when it's too cold, come in and get warm when it's too cold or wet. But here again, this is the same kind of concept. I put in these terraces, 3 of them. And with each one, like at the top, I'm not sure if I want to have anything grow up there, because it'll be right up against the logs, and that'll help the logs, eventually decompose over time. But, I don't know, I might, put some kind of flowering shrub up there, something, a pollinator, something to attract pollinators. But down here, this is the same idea again. I pulled the dirt out between the 2 posts because I don't want to get too much moisture here, rot them out. Pull them out, and I put some compost, put the mulch back on top, and I'll probably just put individual plants along here and also along here. And then, same thing here, maybe a couple places, a couple pollinators, flowering shrubs, flowers, whatever. Down here, mountain mahogany. And interspersed there, I could just, put more other kinds of things that are pretty and have flowers and, make the bees come and help pollinate everything. So, do I have enough to do? That's just, oh geez, God help me. But I'm having fun. And my wish for you is that maybe you have projects like this too. I mean, over time, I'll probably walk down this way again and show you the progress of what I've been able to do this over time. Anyway, talk to you later. You guys have a good day. Bye.